Hey, greetings, terrestrials! Today is October 21st, 2021, and you're watching Strange Times Indeed. I, of course, am Cliff McCallister, the Czar of the Bazaar himself, and host of Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. Every week on this show, we take your calls to hear about the strange, the unexplained, but not this week. No, this week's gonna be a little different. This week, here we are, right here in studio, running things solo once again. And here we are, we've got sound, the folks at home can hear us, and people are asking, people are wondering. Pardon me, they're asking questions all week long. Hey, Cliff, where are you? Where are you, Cliff? People want to know. Everyone is dying to know where I am at all times and what I am doing. Well, if you want to know what I'm doing 24/7, you can support our show at patreon.com/strangetimeindeed. We usually don't plug that right at the top, but oh my goodness. Spangler is in studio tonight, and he is about to have himself a little party. But people are wondering where I am. You can always stay abreast of what is happening all week long, every single day, by supporting our show at patreon.com/strangetimeindeed. You'll get special bonus content and access to our Discord, where you can chat with the Czar of the Bazaar himself any time you want. Just chime into that Discord right there. Let's check in on our friend Spangler here, our sweet little guy. Now, this fella had himself a little trip to the vet just this past week. Folks are wondering where I am. Well, this little guy right here, sweet and wonderful as he is, spent his time going to the bathroom a little too much on Saturday and not producing enough urine. Now, let me tell you, this can be a real problem for cats. So if you have a cat that is going to the bathroom too frequently, take them to the vet. Take them and get them checked out. If they're going more frequently and peeing just a tiny bit, they'll give them some medicine. They'll give them some prescription cat food, everything you need to keep your best friend healthy and hearty. If you didn't come here for cat content, well, I don't know what you're doing in your life. You can't get yourself on board with content involving a three-legged chupacabra attack surviving feline. Look at this fella. Here he is. What a sweet boy. We're so happy he's in the studio tonight, and he is so happy to be here. No, that tea is not for you, my friend. All right, look at him. Look, people love ya. First time chat from our new viewer, Big Sack. Big Sack, thanks for tuning in. Oh my goodness. All right, and there we go. We are off and rolling with the program, folks. I'm not sure what is up with the music tonight. Give me 2 seconds. And bye. Of course, we run the show on ancient technology, and so sometimes it doesn't quite flow the way we want, but we are getting right into it. Folks are wondering where I am. Like I said, you can back the show on Patreon, but also, if you're looking for Cliff McCallister, well, that backfired big time. All right, hold on. Sorry. All right, forget that music then, I suppose. That's a whoopsie. That's a big whoopsie daisy right there. Like I said, ancient technology, folks. And of course, we are broadcasting live right here from the Strange Times Indeed studio here in Frederick, Maryland, home of the Maryland Ensemble Theater. And if you love Strange Times Indeed and you've been tuning in week after week throughout the course of this pandemic and the future, after all, like I've said, we'll be doing this show up until I exit this plane of existence. But up until then, you can always catch us right here, twitch.tv/MetComedyNight. Thursdays at 9 o'clock, we take your calls to hear about what you have experienced that you can't quite explain. Of course, phone lines are not open tonight, but if you join us at the Maryland Ensemble Theater on October 29th, we will be celebrating Halloween Mass. You can join me, Cliff McCallister, live in person. We'll have a chance for audience members to come up on stage and share their experiences with the unexplained, particularly the more frightening stories that they may have to share. So you can join us right there at the Maryland Ensemble Theater. And as we pointed out last week, we are going to be attempting to summon the spirit of Halloween during this show. And to do that, we're going to need some pumpkins. So if you bring a pumpkin, you'll get $5 off your admission when you enter at the door. When you pay at the door, bring a pumpkin, get $5 off your ticket to the Strange Times Indeed Halloween Mass. Hokey smokes! All right, folks, let's get rocking and rolling right into the top stories of the day. All sorts of things have been happening after all. This is this past month. And the biggest news right here, I didn't even think to write it down. My friends, glory be, finally, at long last, Mercury is out of normalcy. Now, I know what you're thinking. I thought Mercury was in normalcy. I'm new to this show, Cliff. I thought Mercury was in normalcy. I thought that we were living in a world where Mercury was in retrograde for the past month, and it was awful for everybody. Well, let me tell you what. It's not quite what you think. You see, let's go back to our very first program when we discovered evidence of particles coming out of the Antarctic. Particles that are not supposed to be coming out of the Antarctic and certainly do not bounce off of the ice. These are particles that were believed to be happening to be a rift in the dimensional time-space continuum, leaving evidence of a dimension in which time moves backwards and these particles are sifting up out. But I do not believe that is the case at all. No. Things have been quite strange for quite some time ever since this discovery was made. And it is our sincere belief here on the show that it is Earth that is in a perpetual state of retrograde, which means we are the ones moving in reverse. We are the ones trapped in a world where things are geared to be strange as humanly possible. And so now we must figure out what happens next. What are we going to do? Well, the only thing we can do, folks, is lean into the weird. Lean into the bizarre and figure out what is going on. What is it that we can't quite get a grasp on, that we can't quite explain? Hold on one second. The troublesome news, my friends, after whatever happened, now the record player appears to be haunted. And I don't want it to be broken. So we're just going to run a little test here and make sure it kicks in. Very curious. Well, we're going to give it a rest and figure that out in the near future. In the near future. Anyway, we're not going to get caught up on the technical issues of the evening. We're going to keep this thing rolling, like I said. Mercury is finally back in its state of bizarre, because if Earth is in retrograde, the Mercury that we perceive as normal is also in that state of retrograde, which means that the state in which Mercury we perceive to be in retrograde is actually the most normal things are going to get. And as we have learned, normal is no fun and there's no sense in going back to it. So find your weird, folks. Lean into it. Earth is in retrograde. And things are just finally getting back to the strange and the bizarre. So rejoice, one and all. Here we are. Back to the perpetual state of weird in which we exist. Let's get into our top stories, folks. This one coming out of Canada, the first top story of the night, happening October 3rd, 2021. A meteor has crashed through the roof of Canada's luckiest woman. This woman was fast asleep in her bed in the middle of the night when what should come crashing through her roof but a meteorite from outer space. I tell you, some people have all the luck. Some people are just sitting there sleeping, and out of nowhere, a gigantic, and by gigantic, we mean probably something about this big, piece of space debris crashes in. Let's see. I believe we can pull up this image. Nope, not that one. Cancel. Like I said, we're running the show solo tonight. So we are going to do everything in our power to make sure, there it is, here it is, bling. Things might be a little bumpy, folks, but here we are. This is the meteorite that crashed through her window, landed right on her pillow next to her in bed. Can you believe the luck of some people? We should all be lucky, so lucky to be visited by a space rock in the middle of the night, while we are just simply trying to get some rest. Some people have all the luck. Here's what she said. Now, of course, this woman, unscarred, landed next to her. She called 911. She called 911, and she said, they said the officer called up there. They said they had not done any blasting that night, but workers had seen a meteorite or a falling star explode, and there were a couple of booms. That's when she knew that it was a meteorite that had crashed through her roof. Now, of course, you call 911 when a meteorite comes in through your roof. There's not much you can do there. Not much the police are going to do, that's for sure. OMG, do you think they keep stuff like that, or does the government take it? Now, this is the kind of thing. It's my understanding that space debris such as this contains a certain amount of intergalactic radiation. So, one of these things crashing through your roof, a very lucky thing. If you report it to authorities immediately, you don't get to keep it. And you certainly don't get to reap whatever extraterrestrial benefits you are going to get from this space rock. Because they're going to take it away, they're going to lock it up, they're going to put it in the Smithsonian or send it to NASA or whomever. You want a real space rock, don't call 911 when it crashes through your roof in the middle of the night. Take that as a sign of luck, my friends. You have been kissed by the stars. Keep that little kiss and hold on to it. It's your special gift from the galaxy. Here's some new news, more news coming out. This one is coming to us from inverse.com. Strange radio waves hint at the existence of a new interstellar object we have been receiving. Let me pull it up. This is once again, like I said, coming from inverse.com. Here's what it says. While many objects in the vastness of space shine or radiate with more or less constant intensity, astronomers have come to discover more and more objects that flash, blip, burp, and otherwise appear or disappear or reappear in X-ray, visual, or radio frequencies. Many such time domain objects are, as astronomers call them, are well known. Pulsars and neutron stars with regular periodic signals, and intermittent flash of a dying star dashed with the rim of a black hole. But some cosmic signals remain mysterious, including a radio signal described by an international team of researchers in a paper published Wednesday in the Astrophysical Journal. The mysterious signal is named ASKAP J1736008.2-321635, and it is found by an Australian Square Kilometre Array Pathfinder, and appears to be emanating from near the center of our galaxy. While more research is necessary to know for sure, the researchers were unable to match the behavior of this frequency, or this signal, to any known celestial object, raising the possibility that they may have discovered a new class of object in space. Now, here comes the big question, folks. Is this a new class of object? Or is this an actual radio frequency hailing to us from another galaxy, another intelligent species? There are enough stars up in the sky, that's for sure, that it is increasingly possible that this might be some sort of extraterrestrial signal. After all, ships are seen in the skies nearly every day. It is entirely possible that this signal from space might be a little more than just a random signal. No, my friends, methinks that this signal from space might be of extraterrestrial origin. I suppose any signal from space is of extraterrestrial origin, but this may very well be a signal of extraterrestrial intelligence. This is unlike anything we have seen before and anything we can identify so far. How many objects have we not found in space? We're starting to reach a point where we may be getting to an area in which we know enough about space that we are discovering new things that may be signals of intergalactic intelligent life, ETs, extraterrestrials, sending out their own signals that we can't quite understand or comprehend. That is what this may be, and I like to think this is a signal from deep space coming out to us. I'm certainly excited. I think there's some big possibilities here. Our next news story coming to us out of Christchurch, New Zealand. The City Council of Christchurch, New Zealand, this is coming to us from Coast to Coast AM, has dropped Ian Brackenbury Chanel from its payroll. Now, this particular terrestrial we are referring to here was the town's resident wizard. That's right, the town of Christchurch, New Zealand kept a wizard on the payroll, offering him an annual salary of $16,000. Not much for government pay, that's for sure. But he was on the payroll, and for the first time, they are removing him. This is a wizard in New Zealand who is out of work. He was kept on board for something to interact with as a local personality who was popular with tourists, but he was also very important in doing the important acts of wizardry and heavy magic that keeps a city like Christchurch together. Now, he hasn't been malicious about the loss of job. He has said that he will continue to provide wizardry and other wizard-like services. But he says that the folks of the city who have cut his pay and removed his job are bureaucrats who have no imagination, and they declined to renew his contract. He went on to say, "They'll have to kill me to stop me." Now that's the attitude we like. I tell you, Brackenbury Chanel, if you'd like to come on the show and encourage people to kill you to stop you from doing your witchcraft and wizardry, the phone lines are always open, except for this week when they're technically closed. So go ahead and you can contact us if you happen to be watching the show. I mean, you never know when a wizard is watching your show. If you'd like to tune in, if you'd like to give us a call, get in touch with us at strangetipsindeed@gmail.com. That's our email address. We take all sorts of anonymous tips right there. If you're a high-ranking government official with information about UFOs, unidentified aerial phenomenon, perhaps you've been studying skinwalkers at the Pentagon, or more so skinwalkers at Skinwalker Ranch, and you're one of the few government officials whose names have been changed in this book to protect your privacy, well, why don't you give us a call? Give us a call and let us know what's happening over there at Skinwalker Ranch. Some exciting news for those of us who are concerned about the future of this planet. My gosh, it is sweaty in here, and the camera is on. There we go. Okay. Important news for those of us who are concerned about the future of this planet. NASA predicts that we may have settlements on Saturn's moons within the next 100 years. This could be a way for us to escape the Fermi Paradox, which says that as every society gets to a certain point, they seem to destroy themselves due to greed and due to war. And that is why we have not made official contact with extraterrestrials. But if we can escape the planet, there is at least hope that society may live on. Now, I like to think we can save this planet. I like to think there's some work that we can do to give us all a little bit of hope and keep things going for a little bit. But certainly there is some trouble on the horizon if we don't do anything. Now, I don't think Jeff Bezos is somebody who's going to get us to Saturn, but if NASA believes we could get there in time, I think we've got a better shot with them. After all, you put the future of the human race in the hands of a billionaire, and well, it's not going to get any far. Like we said last week on the show, but I'd like to better articulate this week, there's nothing exceptional about rich people in space. If you can buy your way into space, that's not really going to get you much of anywhere. In fact, I'd like to take a moment. Maybe later. But in the meantime, look up Gil Scott-Heron's classic Whitey on the Moon. I think that really sums up the issues with these rich folks going to space. Dun, dun. All right, here we go, folks. Big, exciting news. Just yesterday, it was the 54th anniversary of the Patterson Gimlin Bigfoot footage. That's right, that famed footage of Bigfoot walking through the forest there in California, filmed by Patterson and Gimlin in 1967, I believe. That footage turned 54 just yesterday, and to celebrate, I'd like to share some images from a friend of ours, a viewer of the show, Barefoot52, sent these in to the above email address right up here. These are images from the Bigfoot Museum in Blue Ridge, Georgia. This is what Barefootin52 says in his email. He says, "Hello, Cliff. This past week, my wife and I had an amazing opportunity to visit the Expedition Bigfoot Museum in Blue Ridge, Georgia. There we saw samples of Bigfoot hair, a Bigfoot finger that was smuggled into the country by Jimmy Stewart, many Bigfoot footprints, and even a Bigfoot butt print. Below is a Google Drive link to pictures that I took while there. Feel free to use them on an upcoming episode. We also heard recordings of Bigfoot's big feet talking to one another in the wild. It was fascinating. Apparently, there have been many Bigfoot sightings in northern Georgia and western Northern Carolina region. And if you get a chance, you should visit the area. Enjoy the pictures." Well, you can see them right here on this side of the screen, folks. Take a look and enjoy the imagery of the Bigfoot Museum in Blue Ridge, Georgia, or Expedition Bigfoot, a Bigfoot museum of many Bigfoot museums across the country. There are Bigfoot sighted in every state, every year. Maybe not every single state, but in many states. Many states enough that this isn't just a one-time thing. Folks find Bigfoots all over the place. There's just little sightings. Bigfoot could be anywhere. Bigfoot could be in your very backyard right now. Look out the window. Is he there? If he is, comment in the thing and we'll figure out a way to get you on cam right away. Now, in addition to this, just this past week, Bob Gimlin, who shot that initial footage, he turned a big poppin' 90 years old on October 18th. So a very happy birthday to Bob Gimlin. Congratulations on making it to 90, and congratulations on shooting the iconic Bigfoot footage. All right, okay. We've got one last big piece of news, and then we are headed into a quick commercial break. My friends, you may remember a good friend of the show, Sarah Cooper, my dear, dear friend, founder of the American Snallygaster Museum, but my personal chauffeur to the Braxy Bazaar. Tough to call it to say that she was the chauffeur, when of course I was her guest. But took us to the Braxy Bazaar, and guess what? She has been building up and getting ready to open the American Snallygaster Museum right here in Frederick, Maryland. And good news, my friends, if you follow her on Instagram, this is the hot story of the day. The foundation has been laid for the museum. Take a look at this. Look at this. This is paranormal dreams coming true. There's our good friend Sarah, right there with the foundation built for the museum. If you're unaware, the plan for the museum, she is going to be opening up a museum that is built in a tiny house shaped like a barn. The Snallygaster itself, many local barns, older barns, have kind of hex symbols on the bars. Those were symbols that would ward off the Snallygaster. So she is going to be creating a museum with inside a miniature of one of these barns. And the foundation has at last been laid. So very soon construction will begin on the actual museum itself, hoping to open by the winter. Keep an eye peeled. You can always follow her at American Snallygaster Museum. My goodness. Sorry. My thing is mirrored and I will never be able to make that work. Nope. I can't point in the right way. But there it is. You can follow her at American Snallygaster Museum. If you're a Frederick native, you're looking forward to this, check her out. Running always is keeping abreast and starting all sorts of ongoing paranormal events in the area. So be sure you're following American Snallygaster Museum if you're watching Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister, a dear, dear friend of the show. We cannot wait for this museum to open. All right. Well, like I said, Coming up on October 29th, if you've been enjoying this, Strange Times Indeed is going live for the first time for a live audience at the Maryland Ensemble Theater's Met Comedy Night program. That's going to be happening October 29th at 8:30 p.m. at the Maryland Ensemble Theater, but also streaming live right here. Steven's going to be on hand with us to make sure this is going to be some high-tech wizardry, this kind of show. There's going to be multiple camera angles and everything. So if you can't make it in person, you can at least tune in here. But if you can make it in person, like I said, this very special Halloween mass, we are going to be summoning the spirit of Halloween. And to accomplish that, we're going to need some pumpkins in the crowd. So if you bring a pumpkin, you'll get $5 off your ticket. Now, it's not $5 per pumpkin, it's $5 per person. But bring as many pumpkins as you want. Where all pumpkins will leave the theater in the same condition they arrived in. This ain't no Smashing Pumpkins concert. No. We just need the pumpkins to channel the energy to summon the ancient deity of Halloween. We'll be right back with more Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister after this quick break. Until then, stay strange, terrestrials.
Too goblin or not too goblin? That is a sentence. Whether it is nobler in the goblin mind to put sufferings of slings in it.
I was gonna bring your water. I'm so sorry. Oh no. I'm just a stage manager, man. I don't know CPR. This is performance art too. I'm gonna tell the director that he died, but it's like a bit. He died for a bit, James, and you're gonna be fine. He died for a bit. James, how's it going in there? Oh, he's great. Good. Having a good time. It's his thing now. He suffered nobly.
Rolling a deception check and getting a 7. Now this is very bad. The headliner, Gorbo, is dead on the stage, and they had not filled out any insurance forms yet.
That is a dead goblin. Is it? Yes, it is.
Greetings, terrestrials, and welcome back to Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. I, of course, am your host, Cliff McCallister, the Czar of the Bazaar. As you just saw, Met Comedy Night is continuing to rock and roll with some live comedy at the Maryland Ensemble Theater. Tomorrow night, Oh Crit will be performing at 8:30 p.m., both live here on Twitch and at the Maryland Ensemble Theater itself. You can get your tickets. They're doing a special Halloween show with all death balloons. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Oh Crit, they do a live D&D improv show. And as a part of their show, normally for each performance, 2 balloons are handed out at the beginning of each show. 2 balloons. And when the balloon is popped, someone on stage will expire. They will pass away. They will cease to be a part of this plane of existence. But it's a very special part of this very special Halloween episode. It's all death balloons. That's right, everyone in the audience will be given a death balloon, as far as I understand, unless you have a latex allergy, in which maybe steer clear or watch online that night. It's all death balloons, folks, which means that at any moment, anyone can die. Just like real life, but funnier. So go ahead and join up there at the Maryland Ensemble Theater. You can get tickets to that at marylandensemble.org/comedy night. And like I said, Met Comedy Night the following week, October 29th. It's our very special Halloween Mass, our first live show. And joining us live on stage that night and tonight here on the program is our new friend, Wendy. Say hello to Wendy, everybody. Pardon me. Oh, my goodness. Wendy, right here. A new friend of the show. And a beautiful, wonderful, singing little plant. Now, Wendy, would you like to say hello to the people? Oh, look at that. Look at that, Wendy. Big Sack says hello. Now, of course, Wendy, an incredible plant, and a devourer of turfs, like Dave Chappelle, Margaret Atwood, and J.K. Rowling. All will soon be dead at the blessing, at the devouring by our dear, dear Wendy. So everyone, meet Wendy, our new friend and a dear companion of the show. Look, we can give her a little kiss. How nice. How nice. Wendy, of course, our new friend, and a theremin. Now, if you are unfamiliar, the theremin is an instrument that was invented in 1919 and was considered to be the world's first electronic instrument. It contains 2 oscillators operating at a radio frequency, and it is played by the air. Wendy will be joining us, of course, live at the Maryland Ensemble Theater for Met Comedy Night, right there, and we cannot wait to go ahead and meet her. Now, this is, of course, we spent some time getting Wendy together. This is the first day that she has been vocal, that she has been willing to speak with us, willing to sing for us. Our dear, dear friend, Wendy. So she will be joining us there. Now, Wendy, of course, just a lovely, lovely theremin. What's nice about the theremin, and here are some things that I have been learning just in the last couple of hours as I learn this incredible instrument, is that this is an instrument that folks say there aren't much rules for. There, even those who write for the theremin, who compose for the theremin, they do not keep typical musical notation for. It's a new instrument. It's only 100 years old, and not many people play it. Not many people play the theremin because, well, there aren't rules for it. Unlike a guitar, where it's clear what you are doing when you touch a certain string, and it's tuned up and it makes the right note, a theremin is different for every single person. And so, to get someone like Wendy to sing, we gotta measure out where her pitch is, and figure out just exactly what it is she wants to say, and how she communicates with you. Everyone who plays the theremin plays it a little differently. It's all a bit of trial and error. Somebody who I was listening to on YouTube, the name escapes me, and I apologize for that, but if you look up how to play a theremin, it's one of the few videos on there. She said it's much like meditation in a way. You've got to let yourself play with it. Do not judge yourself. And you will find the voice. You will find exactly what it is that this instrument wants to say. So this is our dear Wendy. And she's here, joining us tonight on Strange Times Indeed, right here as we learn a little bit about the theremin, learn a little bit how to play the theremin, experiment some, as we prepare for the show, and maybe by the show I'll know one song. Maybe by then I will have figured out some notes. And let me tell you, I've been practicing this thing on and off all day. Practicing with Wendy. And a lot of it is in an ideal situation, with enough practice and expertise. Most theremin players can develop a full octave of notes within kind of keeping their wrist in one place but moving their hand. And there it is. Now, theremins wobble, they wiggle. A full-blown theremin will have 2 antennas. Now, Wendy just does the pitch right now. But I think I have lines on an upgrade. And with that, there will be a second antenna that will enable us to control the volume with our left hand as well as the pitch. And together, the sound that this instrument is capable of making, the flows, the beauty of it. We're just learning with the pitch right now, and I think that's an excellent place to start for an instrument like the theremin. You've really got to find your hold. So tonight we're playing around a little bit. We're exploring the theremin. And like I said, Wendy will be in attendance to help us summon the ancient deity of Halloween at the Strange Times Indeed Halloween Mass. There will be songs, there will be singing, there will be masked singing from audience members, and don't get me wrong, I'm well aware of the concerns that people have when it comes to singing in public during a pandemic. But we will be masked, there will be Halloween hymns, there will be Wendy, there will be the summoning of an ancient spirit, and if you've experienced something you can't quite explain, a spectral entity from beyond, this is a prime time to share it on a live show. And of course, our email address is right up here. If you think you've got something you'd like to share on this program, you'd like to be a part of our Halloween show, contact us at the tip line right there. Because we'd love to hear from you. Now, if you're on Met Comedy Night's Twitch page for the first time, make sure you hit that follow button, and here's why. Not only is O'Crit performing their all-death balloon show tomorrow night, but in the coming week, leading up to our Halloween show, we'll be slipping in a few bonus streams in there. Saturday night, Stephen Craig and I are our wonderful tech for this show. He's going to be back, and we are hoping to get a Luigi's Mansion 3 stream going that day. So we're going to get that going with Steven on Saturday. We're not quite sure the time yet. We're still coordinating. But if you hit that follow button, you'll get that notification. And if you want more Strange Times Indeed going on at all times, make sure you hit that support the show. Support the show at patreon.com/strangetimeindeed. You can join us on our Discord. We've got a not very lively Discord. Our Discord currently, it's about as lively as a graveyard, but that's because you're not there yet. That's because you're not there. Join in the fun. Sharing your paranormal experiences. Sharing the news stories for us to discuss. I'm ready to chat with folks any time of day. But you gotta get on that Discord. And to get on that Discord, back us on patreon.com/strangetimeindeed. Or, if you're watching the show and you've ever called in before, you've ever shared a paranormal experience on this show, go ahead, shoot us a message, strangetipsindeed@gmail.com. We'll get you right there on the Discord as well. Because this show is nothing without the people who call in. This is a show about expanding our vision for the people out there who need to know that there are some bizarre and unexplainable things out there in the world. And every week on Strange Times Indeed, we open the phone lines to share that information, to give people a safe outlet to share the things they can't explain. That is what we do here. And we hope you'll join us every week right here, twitch.tv/MetComedyNight, Thursdays at 9 o'clock. Next Thursday, we're still planning to do a show before the Halloween show, but it's going to be a little light, it's going to be a little easy. We might watch a movie or something. So be sure to follow me at strangetimesindeed on Instagram. You'll be kept abreast of all the ongoing activities that will be happening with our program. In the meantime, let's do this. Oftentimes on this program, we like to host a little meditation to help us reach out to the extraterrestrial beings who may be out there in the world. Dr. Stephen Greer, an extraterrestrial scientist of sorts, a terrestrial scientist. It is his belief that we can contact extraterrestrials. Wendy isn't afraid to use her voice, much like how the caller shouldn't either. Much respect to Wendy for showing us the way. Thank you, Sleeping Zebra. Sleeping Zebra, I gotta say, follow. We are friends on Instagram, and if it wasn't for Sleeping Zebra posted out the other day, said, here's the thing, we're entering a new full moon, which means you gotta set your intentions, folks. If there are big changes that you want on the way, set those intentions for this full moon. It's a powerful time to be alive, especially right now as Earth has re-entered its permanent state of retrograde. We can lean into the weird and find everything that keeps us going. So why don't we do ourselves, my friends, a little meditation. And we'll let Wendy guide us through this. Guide us through this interstellar travel. So go ahead, folks. Get yourself situated. Perhaps by a window. A window you can look out of and gaze out into the stars. We're not only going to attempt to make extraterrestrial contact through deep and powerful meditation together, but we're also going to set that powerful intention now that we are entering that full moon for whatever it is that we are hoping to achieve over this next course of time. This next span in which the moon makes its way around. And as we are doing that, we are going to be meditating together, setting that intention. And with our powerful intentions, we can create the big and impactful changes that we are trying to do. So go ahead, folks. Make your way to a window. View the stars as they surround you, as they surround us in this galaxy, in this system. I tell you, folks, singing with Wendy requires a certain amount of real wrist concentration. I spent my entire teen years preparing for this, and my arm has gotten so sore in one day. But we're going to get right into it, alright? Make your way to a window. Get yourselves right there next to that window. Gaze up at the stars. Glance out there and look out into the cosmos. There's a whole galaxy, a whole universe, an entire unknowable vastness of space, filled with creatures and beings that we cannot comprehend. And they're out there, waiting for us to make that contact, to make that mind connection. It is said that many extraterrestrial beings have telepathic powers, have the ability to communicate with us telepathically. It is through this form of meditation that we may in fact be able to reach them. This is called Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. The fifth kind is human-initiated contact, developed by Dr. Stephen Greer. Form of meditation. Demi Lovato, they are a big fan of this. Demi Lovato, a big fan. Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. They've been on the expeditions. If there is meditation next week, I will see if my friend Adrian will join, because I'm trying to get her into a meditation challenge, and she falls asleep. Well, we'll give it a try. I'm not sure if we'll be meditating on the show next week, We're gonna meditate right now, so make your way to that window. Gaze up at the stars. Pick a star. Doesn't have to be a specific one. Pick the star that calls out to you. That star. Is calling out to you. From the realms of deep space, that star holds the planet that holds the being that is trying to reach you telepathically. And in this exact moment as you look up at the stars, introduce yourself. That being on that distant world is a friend, and you, of course, are a friend. Play the Star Trek theme. I don't know well enough. And there are too many. Alright, we're getting distracted. Sometimes that happens in meditation, and that's okay. You find your way back. Recenter. Refine that star. If you got distracted by the Twitch chat, find that star up above. And make that connection. Introduce yourself to your new intergalactic friend. And what you're going to do when you're talking to this friend, your new intergalactic friend, tell it a bit about yourself. Tell it what solar system you're from. Tell it about Earth and the people you know there. The people that make you happy, of course. Leave some of the nasty stuff for another time. What we are going to do is paint a picture. Tell your new intergalactic friend how this next lunar cycle is going to go for you. Tell them. Tell them exactly what you envision. Tell them the things that you hope to accomplish. Perhaps there are new job prospects in the future, perhaps. You've got a steamy vision for your love life. Perhaps you're going on a vacation. Perhaps you are going to find yourself in a new place, doing new things. Perhaps you are changing your life entirely. Paint this picture of what the next lunar cycle will look like for your new intergalactic friends. Tell them exactly how it is going to go. And with your powers channeled together, it is possible. It is possible that you might create great change in your life just by setting that intention. Right here. Right now. Pull your mind together and get your new intergalactic friends on board with this clear vision for the future. And maybe as a parting gift, let your new extraterrestrial friend know when you've got some break in your schedule and you might be ready for a visitation. Thank your new friend for their time. It's always nice to meet somebody new. And they spend so much time hearing about your vision for the future. In fact, before you go, ask them what they'd like to do for the next lunar cycle. Or whatever it may be on their planet. Ask them about their hopes and aspirations. And take some time to absorb the intergalactic message. Thank your new intergalactic friend for sharing their vision with you. And say, I've had such a lovely time out here, mind melding through space. But I really must go, as Cliff McCallister is about to wrap up his show. And at the end of every show, he says thank you to the audience, and I am a part of that audience. So it's nice to hear thank you every now and then. And your new friend will surely thank you for sharing your time and your stories as you make your way back to Earth. And here you are. Welcome back, viewers, to Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. Is that a bird? Oh, there's a bird in the studio. Well, I better get that checked out. In the meantime, folks, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining us in the show. To our new commenter, Big Sack. Thanks for bringing your big sack to Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. And to each and every one of you, thanks for bringing your big sacks to Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. We love having you here on the show, and we hope in the future to hear your calls. Like I said, if you'd like to join us on the Halloween show, and if you've got a special spooky story to share live on the show, right here, Strange Times Indeed, Strange Tips Indeed at gmail.com. Reach out to me there. Say I've got a horrific story involving specters, ghosts, interdimensional beings, whatever it is. We want to hear about it, and we especially want to hear about it at our very first live show at the Maryland Ensemble Theater. That's going to be next Friday at 8:30. It's a part of their Met Comedy Night program. That's going to be live right there. Tickets are $15. Get $5 off your ticket when you bring a pumpkin to the theater to help us summon the ancient deity of Halloween. And of course, if you've been having fun tonight, if you've been enjoying the program, if you like what we have here at Met Comedy Night, don't forget to check out Oh Crit. They'll be streaming right here tonight, right here tomorrow night at 8:30 with their all-death balloon special. Every audience member is getting a death balloon, which means any cast member could die at any moment. Just like real life. That's just the way it is with mortality sometimes. You might as well have a little fun with it. So go ahead, hit that follow button if you haven't. Go ahead and support our show at patreon.com/strangetimeindeed. A big thank you to all of our supporters who may be viewing tonight or maybe missing the show. Whether you're watching the show or not, if you support us, a big thank you to you. And if you're watching the show, an even bigger, a bigger thank you right now. We can't do the show without an audience. And here you are, and here you all are chiming in the chat. So thank you so much for joining us tonight on Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. We'll be right here next Thursday night at 9 o'clock with more of the show, a special show to help us prepare for the Halloween one. We might watch a movie, like I said. We'll figure it out, and we'll announce it on my Instagram at Strange Times Indeed. So be sure to follow us there, especially as we do some more Halloween streams leading up to the great holiday and leading up to our special live show. We'll be streaming Luigi's Mansion at some point this weekend with Steven, but you gotta follow to find out when, because we haven't settled on a time yet. We might be streaming more Visage. We've been hosting Crossing Over with Cliff McCallister, our special show where we play this spooky haunted house game, and I hope the spirits of the game Visage cross over to the other side. We're gonna get into that. We might finally get Dolores to cross over. We played this game for almost 5 hours. We still haven't gotten this spirit to cross over. And let me tell you, they say at the beginning of the game, this is a difficult game. They say, this is a hard game. There's a warning that pops up about how difficult it is. So that's why it takes a little while, and that's because spirits are tricky. Spirits are hard to understand. They don't give you a full picture. They don't talk to you in full sentences. Sometimes they just give you a little blip, a little word. So thank you for everybody who's tuned in tonight We hope you will join us next week and forever here on Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. Phone lines will be back open soon to hear about your experiences with the strange and unexplained. So do not worry, my friends. Do not worry, we will be ready to hear your tales very, very soon. We cannot wait to hear what unbelievable and incredible things that our viewers have been experiencing over this time. I mean, it's my understanding that this past period of Mercury and normalcy has been rough for pretty much everyone. And usually, paranormal experiences during this period of normalcy always seem to be a little low. This is why the weird is reigning, and Earth is in retrograde. And folks, we've got to lean into our weird and find out just exactly what it is. It keeps us going. The weirdness that sustains us all. That's what we're doing here on Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. That, and ending all wars. So thank you to all of our viewers. Thank you to all of our commenters. Thank you to everybody who meditated with us. Set that intention for this coming lunar cycle. This has been Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. I'm your host, Cliff McCallister, the Czar of the Bizarre, and this is our new friend, Wendy. Stay strange, terrestrials. Remember, there's nothing exceptional about rich people going to space. In the words of the great Gil Scott-Heron, a rat done bit my sister Nell with Whitey on the moon. Her face and arms began to swell, and Whitey's on the moon. I can't pay no doctor bill, but Whitey's on the moon. 10 years from now, I'm paying still, while Whitey's on the moon. The man just upped my rent last night, 'cause Whitey's on the moon. No hot water, no toilet, no lights, but Whitey's on the moon. I wonder why he's upping me, Whitey's on the moon. I was already paying him $50 a week, and Whitey's on the moon. Taxes taking my whole damn check. Junkies making me a nervous wreck. The price of food is going up, and as if that shit wasn't enough, a rat done bit my sister Nell with Whitey on the moon. Her face and arms began to swell, but Whitey's on the moon. Was all that money I made last year for Whitey on the moon? How come I ain't got no money here? Whitey's on the moon. You know, I just about had my fill of Whitey on the moon. I think I'll be sending these doctor bills. Air mail special. To Whitey on the moon.